crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadroad.com. It's your morning horn of Z's, your sip of tea. I do put a little chaga in the tea. I'm taking chaga pills now because chaga and tea don't go all that well together. Coffee hides the taste of the chaga, but definitely keep taking your chaga. Let's talk silver rigging. Clearly, the bad guys are in bad straits right now. They're bringing out all their mouthpieces. Jeff Curry from Goldman Sachs, the lovely Jeffrey Christian from CPM Group, which I'll get to in a second. But check this out. On No News, slam. For all you people who are new to silver, this is nothing new. There was a joke. It wasn't even a joke. Back in when they were battling to get the good guys and the bad guys, good guys were battling to get gold over $300 way back in the early 2000s. I think it was Bill Murphy said they could set up a nuclear bomb in India, blow up the whole country, and it would not change the price of gold. India was a big consumer of gold at the time. It would not change the price of gold. Why? Because it's rigged with futures and options on the COMEX. Flat out, 100% every trade. Like I said, they can place the price of silver to zero, to negative $50 with a click of a mouse. You don't believe me? Look at the oil market. What did it go, negative 40? And silver's so much smaller than the oil market. This is America, my friends. It's sad. It's pathetic. The CFTC, I hear Gary Gensler is, I think he just got approved or is about to be approved as the head of the SEC. Now you might think, oh, the head of the SEC has nothing to do with the CFTC. Well, no, that's not true. The guy who's taken the head spot at the CFTC worked for Gary Gensler when Gary was the head of the CFTC. Gary's a smart motherfucker. Is he going to take down the cabal? He didn't. He didn't when he headed the, whether it was a political decision like Bart Chilton said. Gary was Bart's boss at the time, by the way. Yeah. It's rigged. What can you do? Buy physical and keep exposing. Buy physical, keep exposing. There is no Wall Street short squeeze. There's a couple guys who wanted to do it, but there are good guys behind that jumped on top of that and traded the 2 billion ounces of physical silver in one day, or electronic silver in one day. That's not Wall Street guys. They're not the Wall Street, the Reddit Wall Street guys are not on the COMEX at all. Like at all. That's the good guys battling the bad guys. And good guys can win. We've already won. It's just a question of when do we want to pull the plug. So get your physical silver in your own possession. Obviously, it's cheaper now. My God. Let them play their games. Let's talk about their games. So they're slamming the price of silver. Here's where we are as far as volumes. This is the day back here, 2 billion ounces in one day on February 1st. Where do we even have any regulators? Why do we pay them? I heard the budget's over $120 million for the COMEX annual budget, the CFTC's annual budget. $120 million. That's just ridiculous because they don't do anything. Yesterday, we had about 500 million ounces traded on the COMEX, which is a normal day, according to Jeff Christian. We still have 15 million ounces waiting to be delivered on top of the close to 40 million ounces that have already been delivered. I don't think they're coming out of the warehouse of the COMEX. I think they're coming out of SLV. Let's take a look. What's SLV doing? Where is it? I made a nice little chart of this. Here we go. Look at this. Since the end of the contract day right here, 14.9 million ounces have already come out of the SLV inventories. I will guarantee you that goes right into the COMEX deliveries. Definitely crazy time. It is a shell game perpetrated by some really criminal bad people and helped out by some really stupid evil people. This guy, Jeffrey Christian, he's an evil dude. Mark my words, I've been dealing with this little asshole for over 20 years. Does he not know that JP Morgan was busted with $920 million fine, the largest fine in commodity history, and he still won't acknowledge that the silver price is rigged? But listen to his latest. Another slip of the tongue that makes you got to start thinking about this stuff. When Jeffrey Christian talks or when Jeff Curry talks, they give little hints as to how their con is played. It's a shell game. Listen to what he says.
Well, yeah. Okay. So there are a couple of theories out there. The financial institutions who are, I guess, on the long side, they're the ones that are going to get hurt from the short squeeze. But you're saying, based on what you said, it sounds like you're saying that no, the deliveries are not going to hurt them in any way.
It's not. They are not going to get hurt by the short squeeze. They're actually getting help by the short squeeze.
Okay.
Because the financial intermediaries actually are short the futures, but they're long physical.
Okay. Short the futures, we know they are. As a matter of fact, the top 8 are short 400 million ounces of futures. 400 million ounces on the COMEX. The top 8. Okay? You keep that in mind. Now listen to what he says. Now he says that they're all backed by some kind of mythical metal somewhere. Listen to this.
The short positions that they have on the futures contract primarily are hedges of physical metal. And that's physical metal that they've lent out to producers, smelters, refiners, fabricators, and others.
Okay, let's break this down. He's saying 400 million ounces that they're short are primarily, his word, hedges on metal lent out. This always confused me. Metal lent out to producers of like mining companies? No mining companies hedge. Producers of what, Jeff? Producers, smelters. Why would the smelters be borrowing metal if they're processing other people's metal? Maybe a tiny amount, but why would they be borrowing metal? Why would smelters be borrowing metal? Refiners, again, why would they be borrowing metal? They're refining. Now, if they're, see, that's the thing. If a refiner is playing with their own metal, that's one thing, right? That would be on the industrial side, a fabricator. And then he does say fabricators, the guys who make the coins and the bars and all that, and the 1,000-ounce bars. Okay. First of all, he starts the interview off by saying, oh, we're out of stock of the little stuff. So the fabricators have no stock. But he's saying they have gigantic short positions based on their stock, which is true. The U.S. Mint is one of the largest hedgers in the world. The Perth Mint is one of the largest hedgers in the world. They're saying they don't have any stock. Did they close out their hedge? No, those are naked hedges. Absolutely naked. And why are bullion banks lending out? Leasing metal. Leasing metal. I was in the leasing business for 15 years. Leases, at the end of a lease, it's like a car. You could give it back or you can buy it. Do you think silver is a consumable item. So JP Morgan leases metal to somebody who, for some reason, wants to hedge their inventory. So they lease metal from JP Morgan, knowing that they got to give it back. It's a financial contract, or buy it out. 99% are just bought out. But does that count? Is that a naked short if they lease the metal? Leasing metal makes no sense to me because it's never returned. The metal is never returned. And it won't be returned. And now these people who are leasing it to cover their shorts, that's a double short. And the CFTC should know this. The SEC should know this. I mean, let's talk about both these guys. Jeff Curry and Jeff Christian are saying that the ETFs are hedging metals, hedging their inventories, even though, for example, the SLV says you can't do that. It's specifically, I talked about that yesterday. And then I heard Jeff Christian say, no, it's not the ETFs hedging the metal, it's that the bullion banks have long positions. They have long positions in the ETFs so that they do own the metal. You don't know what you're talking about, Bix. They don't own the metal, or they do own the metal. If they do own the metal outright without any other encumbrances, as in it's not leased, then that could be a legitimate hedge. But let's find out if they really do own the metal. Because in SLV, if you own that much metal, you have to declare it. You have to be a major holder. So let's look at the major holders. There's one, the number one, UBS is an authorized participant of SLV. So that could be a situation where UBS, which holds 5,862,000 shares, could have a short position for 5,000. What is that? 1,172 contracts, and that would be a legitimate short position. But that is nothing compared to the 400,000 contracts that they have, that these 8 banks own. It's a concentrated short position. Jeffrey Christian will never talk about the concentration. It's actually concentrated in the top 4. And we kind of know who those are now. But I went down this whole list, and there's only 3. There's only 3 banksters who could possibly fulfill what Jeff Curry and Jeff Christian would say, but it's on a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. Only a total of close to 3,000 contracts, because that's what they are long. So 3,000 contracts versus 400. What's 3,000 contracts is 15 million ounces versus 400 million ounces. It's insignificant. What they're claiming to be the legitimate hedging is the amount is completely insignificant. Otherwise, they would have had to report it. You would have seen Goldman Sachs, for example. They just delivered close to 15 million ounces they have to deliver in this delivery month. They should have been up here, right? They should have been up here with 15 million shares, but they're not there. That's what you call a naked short, no matter what Jeffrey Christian says or Jeff Curry says. Let's take a look at who these guys are. It's not hard to see who's delivering from their own house account. Goldman Sachs, obviously the big one. They were the naked short. Now remember, silver's a hot potato. The silver short is a hot potato passed around between a handful of banksters who all collude together. That's why the RICO charges came out for JP Morgan and were dropped, because it would have destroyed everything. You take out the biggest bank in the world, everything goes. But that's who coordinates it, JP Morgan, BlackRock. And now we see who was left crying on the shore when the water went out. It was Goldman Sachs. At least this month. Next month, maybe Goldman has closed out all their shorts and learned their lessons. I don't think so, because they're still out there talking their shit. Here's another one. Macquarie. Macquarie is an Australian bank. I'll bet you that this is a delivery of Perth Mint, a closeout of a Perth Mint hedge. Why Macquarie's and Perth Mint are I think they do all the hedging for the Perth Mint, but this is their house account. This is another bankster that was caught out. And the other big one, obviously, is HSBC. Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, who's been rigging the price of silver for 170 years. 703 contracts. It's glaring in their house account. Because they're not anywhere here. Jeff Curry can't say, no, HSBC is a large holder of SLV. They are not. Otherwise, they didn't declare they were. Nor is Goldman Sachs. Anyway, the con continues in gold and silver. Those of you who've been in this long enough, we have these ebbs and flows. We're going to see the good guys are going to attack again. I think this month we'll find out. They'll say, "Oh, look at the Reddit guys are actually winning there," and then the good guys will come in and take down the bad guys at some point when we're ready. News from the U.S. Mint is that they're shutting down, from what I hear. They are making new silver eagles and new gold eagles. with a security feature on it to protect the currency of the United States of America. Yes, I absolutely think holding pre-65 coinage and Eagles is much better than any other metal. Eagles, you're going to have to pay a big premium. But remember, Hugo Salinas' prices, when he wanted to go back to, I forgot what he called it, the silver peso type of thing. It was called something else. But he said you always have to keep the value of the coin higher than the melt value, or everybody's going to melt the coins. That's what's going to happen. Is the U.S. is going to go back to a gold and silver standard, plus probably some form of crypto standard, and make sure they mandate that the value of the U.S. coin, the U.S. Silver Eagle, is more than the melt value. So it will always be much more valuable than the underlying metal. Otherwise, industrials will just melt them down. So yes, I am a big fan of Eagles, but pre-65 coinage, that's the unsung hero because you don't have to pay this huge premium. And oh, by the way, it was made by the U.S. Mint. It is U.S. currency as opposed to Federal Reserve notes that are not U.S. currency. Something to think about. And while you're thinking about it, cryptos are doing pretty well. Bitcoin's back over 50,000 at 51,000. Our favorite Theta is, I can't believe that you can still get Theta for under $100. I think it's the greatest thing ever. As soon as it goes on Coinbase, boom, it's going to over 100. Boom, boom, boom. And then they start their advertising campaign. There's so much going on. And if you didn't catch my release last night, they just added Sony as a validator. Sony. Isn't that Xbox? Sony, Samsung TVs. How many edge nodes are going to be out there? Millions of edge nodes. All securing the most secure blockchain in the world. That's the broadband sharing. It is. It's a software update. It's a software update for these guys. It's hard to express how big this is going to be. A lot of people thought Michelle Whitehead was crazy when she said Theta a couple years ago. Theta is going to $3,000. She said 1,000. She said in the thousands, and then she's since clarified to 3,000. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? It's at 10 cents. She had vision. Her spirit guide told her exactly what it was, and then we all did our homework. And we said, oh my God, this is the future of the internet. This is a tech company with a crypto component. Every single tech investor out there, all the people investing in Cisco and Microsoft and Amazon, and they're all going to be piling in to Theta and Theta Fuel. Piling in. Trillions of dollars are going to come in. And 3,000, it would be the largest market cap company in the world at 3,000. And it should be. What's the World Wide Web worth? There's 1 billion Theta tokens. There will only be 1 billion ever. Keep that in mind when you're thinking Theta or Theta Fuel. There will only be 1 billion. And how important is scarcity going to be when the old system falls apart? When we're talking value and money. So yes, it's Theta was moving down the chart. It was almost at 30, number 30. Now it just jumped right back up to 21. It will go to number 10 this year, 5 the year after, and number 1. And then number 1 at some point in time. Maybe even faster than that. Because really we're looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the two that have, Bitcoin obviously near a $1 billion market cap. Ethereum, 180. I tell you, Theta does what Ethereum wants to be. It's amazing. There are some people saying you think it was done on purpose, that they used the same, you make the same wallets with it, it's the same programming language. I don't know if it was done on purpose, but obviously Ethereum's got some issues. It's just massively expensive and ultra slow. The opposite of Theta. Anyway, all the other ones, I've been saying it for about 6 months now. Sell everything you got in cryptos and put in Theta. Let Theta run, and then you can. And then if you want to, when you're rich and famous, you can go buy Bitcoin again, or Ethereum again, or Litecoin again, But they aren't going to run as fast as Theta. We got these things coming up. The addition to Coinbase. I think Theta will be added. I don't think Theta Fuel will be added because there's still regulatory issues around it. I think ultimately it will. And then we got this huge advertising program, and we got like a list of things they're going to accomplish this year. All right. Enough of I'm sorry I've been harping on it, but a lot of my Road to Ruta followers say, thank you for harping on it. Thank you for forcing me to go figure out how to buy Theta. So at the Road to Ruta, we teach you how to buy Theta in America. It's real hard in America to buy Theta. It's not impossible. We suggest Overseas Broker, Caleb and Brown, great company. You could do it on SimpleSwap, CoinSwitch. There's a few different ways you can do it. But on the private road, we'll teach you how to buy it, store it, and stake it. That's what we're currently offering. For the 1-year subscription, definitely get on the free stuff. You want the updates. To join the free public road, just go to the left, put your name and email address in, and boom. You get sent my first book in PDF form, too. You're going to love that book. So go check it out. Join the private road. Join the public road. Look, Theta token coming across the screen. $3.74. Not bad for a token that started the year. Last year was up 40x. I'm looking at 40x this year. It's gone up almost 2x. I am going to be playing a song at the end of this discussion about free markets. And it's so sad to see my country be taken over by friends of Jeffrey Christian and Jeff Curry. These are really dark entities that have controlled our lives for so long. It's time for them to go away. And everybody should be screaming at the CFTC, the SEC, the DOJ, and companies like CPM Group, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, HSBC. They're destroying our country because free markets are the road to freedom. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.
Here's a true story about a man just like you. He worked his whole life, he was honest and true. Built up a nest egg the way they said to. Invest in the market, money works for you. And everything is fine, picking the winners every time. Started to believe he can make dollars out of dime. Little did he know he's being primed for a fall. The riggers let you play, then the riggers steal the ball. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. Got to shut down exchanges, trade one for one. We want free markets, well, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. Capitalism, not as bad as they say. The world has never tried it, rigging markets every day. Socialists fail every time in every way. We need a better system to forge a better day. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. There's a crypto solution if only done right. We can take out the liars, bring dark into light, and trust in the math, not the people who lie. I think we can make it if we give it a try. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. 'Cause free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. Free markets are the road to freedom.